Alright, so this is it. Welcome to your first look at the Samsung Galaxy S25 lineup. So as you probably expected, we've got 3 new phones this year, the Samsung Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra. If you're hoping for flips and folds, that's not until later in the year. And while the S25 and S25 Plus are extremely familiar to what we saw last year with the S24 line, the S25 Ultra has some changes both inside and out that I was really looking forward to. And probably the most exciting is this new camera feature that I'll be saving till closer to the end. And I know I don't say this often when it comes to this, but some of the new AI features are actually alright. But yeah, let's not waste any more time and start on the outside of the phones. So the S25 and S25 Plus are available in 4 colors this year. You've got Silver Shadow, Navy, Icy Blue, and Mint. And as far as the S25 Ultra goes, we've got Titanium Black, Titanium Gray, Titanium White Silver, and Titanium Silver Blue. So at first glance, the colors are pretty muted across the board, but we all know that Samsung typically has some exclusive online colors at launch. So hopefully if you're watching this today on January 22nd, which happens to be Galaxy Unpacked, then maybe there's like a dope purple or yellow or something. But for now though, Icy Blue and Titanium Silver Blue were my personal favorites. So the regular S25 is running a 6.2-inch Full HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display, while the S25 Plus, similar to last year, has a 6.7-inch Quad HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display. Finally, the S25 Ultra also has a Quad HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display, but it's slightly larger this year, coming in at 6.9 inches, opposed to last year's 6.8. Now again, looking at the exterior of the S25 and S25 Plus, as I said before, it's very similar to what we saw last year. Like when you pick these up, they feel largely the same in your hands. But the S25 Ultra was updated both in its weight and its overall design. So now it's got these much more comfortable rounded edges, and it feels significantly lighter in your hands. Actually, it's a difference of 15 grams, coming in at 218 grams total. But yeah, it's a noticeable difference in every way as soon as you pick up these new Ultras. And honestly, I'm here for it. Oh, and before I forget, S Pen is still a thing. As for the cameras on the back of the S25 and S25 Plus, they're very similar to last year as well. You've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 50 megapixel wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto. However, the S25 Ultras did receive a camera lens upgrade, so now they've got that 50 megapixel ultra wide opposed to the 12 megapixels of last year. And we kind of saw this one coming to keep the phone sort of in line with other phones that were released last year after the S24 Ultra. Now moving to the internal specs, all the phones across the board are running the octa-core Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which is pretty sick. Everything feels nice and snappy while you're using the phone. And all these phones are also running 12 gigs of RAM across the board, which I did find kind of surprising. I just kind of automatically assumed that the Plus and the Ultra would probably have 16 gigs of memory, but at the end of the day, it's still just a phone, so you probably don't need that much anyway. Now, the first sort of question mark spec, in my opinion, are the internal storage options. So the S25 Ultra is available in either 128 or 256 gigs, which seems abnormally low in 2025, in my humble opinion. I think I was really expecting to see these phones start at 256 gigs minimum, which is the case for the S25 Plus, which starts at 256, but also has a 512 option. But even more surprising to me was the S25 Ultra because it has the exact same starting point as the S25 Plus. So you've got 3 options to choose from: 256, 512, or 1 terabyte, which I think last year, at least in Canada, was exclusive to online purchases. And finally, each of the phones are running a 4000, 4900, and 5000 milliamp hour battery respectively, with 45 watt super fast charging available on the Plus and the Ultra. Okay, so now that the boring stuff's out of the way, let's start talking about the exciting stuff. Oh, and if you made it this far in the video, feel free to drop 2 black hearts down in the comments so I can thank you personally. And if you've been vibing with the content, maybe leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. You have no idea how much it helps us smaller channels. But anyway, let's get back to the phones. Now, all these phones are shipping with One UI 7, which because of the time constraints, we couldn't really play around too much with the new UI. So in terms of new software features that we were able to check out, you've got this Now bar that appears on your lock screen. So the Now bar is at the bottom of your lock screen and uses AI to pull relevant information like weather, calendars, appointments, etc. And it makes it readily accessible to you as the user. And it populates in the morning, afternoon, and at night after analyzing your daily pattern. And again, because these were pretty much brand new phones that were just logged into, we couldn't really see exactly how it worked. It was kind of like a quick at a glance thing. But I imagine it would be kind of similar to that cool AI summary that the new weather app has on the Pixel from last year. And there's also the Now Brief, which sort of ties into that Now bar. However, this one can be used as a widget that you can access on your home screen, and it pretty much has all that same information that I just discussed at a glance for you throughout the day. Now, 2 other important AI features that they have implemented are the audio eraser, which again, we did see that one on the Pixel last year. And then this next one is pretty cool for people who make videos like this, or maybe you post on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, for example. In order to shorten down your editing time, they have this auto trim feature. So it's able to take out filler words like ums and ahs, and also any dead space that it finds within the recording of your video, and automatically splices all of those portions out. And then finally, we're told that these phones have access to Gemini AI now as an assistant. I don't really know what that means for Bixby, if Bixby's still a thing or not, but it seems like the partnership with Google is now like fully in play. Obviously, if they're using features like audio eraser, for example. So it remains to be seen if buying a Galaxy this year, whether it's the Plus or the S25 Ultra, will also net you that 1 free year of Gemini, because we do know that it's not free. But yeah, personally, I think partnering with Google was the next logical step for Samsung to ensure that everybody's getting a clean and consistent AI experience across the board. And so I'm looking forward to hearing people's thoughts on it as these phones start to roll out. And finally, I saved the most important and exciting feature, in my opinion, for last, because honestly, we kind of discovered this during the 1 hour of playing with the phones that we had, sort of by accident. So for years, people have been saying that iPhone is the king of shooting videos. And so while all these other Android phones have been catching up in terms of photo, that nobody would ever be able to overtake iPhone. And then it got even crazier when Apple gave iPhone users access to Apple ProRes Log. And if you're not really familiar with what that is, then this feature probably isn't for you, but for content creators, filmmakers, etc., it gives them the free range to pretty much change up all the colors and the overall look of videos that they shoot. And so this was like a really big deal. Like, because of this, companies actually started shooting full-length feature films using just iPhones. And for a while there, it looked like none of the Android companies were going to try to do the same thing, but it's looking like this year on the Samsung S25 Ultra, I wasn't able to check the other phones because we ran out of time as we figured this out, but on the S25 Ultra at least, you are able to shoot in a full log profile, and it's available in up to 8K, which is crazy. And then on top of that, you have full absolute pro controls over that log mode. So that means you can adjust your ISO, your shutter speed, your f-stop, like pretty much everything is at your fingertips, as if you're shooting on a real camera like the one that I have here, because that is not something that's been available to iPhone users. Even when it comes to shooting in that log mode, Apple didn't really give pro controls to its users until it came out with the new Final Cut camera app, which brings with it a whole host of other issues. When it comes to the iPhone side, people are scrambling around the place using all these different third-party apps in order to get those controls. Whereas on the Samsung, this is built right into the native camera app. And so again, if you're unfamiliar with log footage and color grading and all those things, maybe this won't be as exciting for you. But I know that in some corner of the world, there are some people who have been waiting for this on the Samsung Galaxy phones for a long time. The only question that still remains outstanding is how long it's going to be before Samsung releases a conversion LUT for their new log format. And we also weren't able to figure out what the encoding is. And so obviously there's a couple of things that are still up in the air, and because this isn't a full review and I don't have my hands on my review unit yet, it's tough to really say or show you any example footage. And so that's pretty much it. That's a crash course on the new S25 lineup. As I said, I'm looking forward to these phones. Like just the fact of picking up the new S25 Ultra and holding it beside my S24 and realizing just how heavy this guy actually was made me really look forward to the new S25 lineup. Like, I just can't wait to switch this out. Those nice rounded off edges, like that's part of why I use this art case, is because it does round off those edges and they still do feel kind of sharp. Whereas on the new phone, like it's completely rounded. It's much lighter. It shoots better. Like there's a lot of things that are going on with these new phones that I'm looking forward to checking out in the full review. I'm expecting that by the time you guys see this video, I'll have my review unit in my hands and we'll have run through about a week or maybe 2 weeks with the phone so that I can drop an extensive review for you guys. So yeah, if that interests you, just make sure you come back and check it out. As always, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave them down below and I will be sure to get back to you. But that is pretty much it for me. So much love as always, throwing up 2 of them, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.